I'm on day 88 of retention. I can't remember why I started this. It was probably to attract women at one point. Probably just wanted to see what it was about, but I don't remember. I remember practicing this unconsciously. I was 16, 17 years old, just 'cause release didn't feel good. And I remember there was times where I would release and I didn't know why. It wouldn't even feel good. But I've noticed so many changes within myself, especially this streak. I've reached 100 days before, but you accumulate more life force energy as you keep retaining, regardless of a relapse. Now, in my previous video, I mentioned how my face has changed, my bone structure has changed, my voice carries a lot more weight now. There's moments where I can feel the frequency of the words that I use, not just my tone, but accurately feel my vibration, especially when I'm speaking. It's very interesting. You feel empty, everything feels empty. Your words feel empty. And it's almost like the elephant in the room when you're talking to someone else as you've been depleted. And your words don't mean much. And people will look at you like they pity you. And now when people look at me, I'm either receiving compliments from people, men and women, or there's a sense of intimidation. Like I know something that they don't, like I hold something that they don't have. And it's not material. It's hardly tangible, but it's felt, you know? But I've always found it very strange how as soon as I retain, get on a decent streak, people act strange around me. They don't act the way that they would act if I was depleted. It's like you become the highlight of any room that you walk into. Your energy envelops the room, and they're standing in your presence. I think people can feel it subconsciously. They don't know that it's you all the time, but they know something has changed. I've been in rooms with people where it's almost like they're trying to figure out what's going on. They feel something different. They can't pinpoint it, but they know that something feels different. I think sometimes people will be able to, you know, with some precision, guess that it's this guy. Like, he's making me feel weird. He's making me feel not enough, or he's making me want to give him something, to compliment him. And sometimes I get free stuff thrown at me, or just being surprised by people and they give you stuff. It's almost like they feel like they owe you something. And now that I'm on day 88, I feel like I'm dying, like a part of me is dying. And I've been very attracted, not in a suicidal way, but very attracted to the idea of death. And lots of my dreams have been depicting this concept of death. I had a dream the other night where I was falling into a void and I landed on a concrete block. What felt like minutes of falling into this black hole. And I was met with my future self. And I felt very calm. I felt extremely at peace in the dream. And he was telepathically talking to me, telling me things that I needed to do, things that I would accomplish. And I was looking at this man, knowing that that was me, and thinking, how the fuck did I do that? He was huge, but he was carrying so much weight to his words, and his presence was so peaceful. I felt so at peace. I felt understood. And these past couple days, I've been feeling like I'm in a compressor, like I'm being pressurized, like my reality is at peace, it's calm, but my insides are boiling almost. It's like something's about to burst. And the urges, they come and go, but they're not like, it doesn't seem reasonable. It's almost like you can start to see the tricks that your mind plays on you as time goes on. And then you really wonder, what would happen to me if I released? I think the benefits can only take you so far. The glow, the white eyes. It's not only that your eyes become white, they hold a presence to them, it's like a serious gaze. Even within myself, sometimes you could be happy and it's still there. It's like there's a presence behind you, within you. And when you're looking at someone, they can feel it. They can feel that they're being watched in a serious manner. And the longer I retain, it's difficult. I almost have to fool myself or get into a state of mind to really even comprehend why people act a certain way. It's harder for me to joke around. It's harder for me to stand bullshit, whether it's conversations or I don't even remember the last time I watched a movie. It's been probably weeks. I can't sit down and do things like that anymore. And I hope that changes. I hope I can enjoy entertainment again. I don't think it's good to always take things so seriously all the time. But there's this feeling of lagging. Like, you're ahead of everyone else. And that can be in, various ways, but especially spiritually. And as a man, most people are depleted. But you feel like you're lagging behind yourself. You feel like you have so much to do, so much to accomplish, so much energy to go after the things that you want to go after. And you have it now. But it's almost like it's never enough. I think I should learn how to be more grateful for a lot of things. And it comes with the lingering anger, I'm not proud to say that. It's not like I want to be angry. I'm not angry all the time, but there does come some rage with this. It's a rage at almost existence in your previous self, but an anger at how this world operates, how the nature of most humans is contaminated with meaningless experiences, meaningless words, and how society gravitates towards anything almost evil-like. And sometimes that gets me angry. And also the recognition that I'm only 88 days in, and this is how I'm feeling, right? I could have gotten a lot more done if I started retention earlier in my life, or if I knew about this. If we were taught about retention, how would the world look now? But I think there's a reason why we aren't taught retention. I think it would be very bad for some people in power. It's a lot easier to control people who can't think for themselves. You start to think for yourself, truly. The more that you retain, you really act like your true self. And you start to see the habits that you used to engage in as not even childlike. It's meaningless nonsense. That's where I'm at right now. It feels like I'm in a pressure cooker. And part of me is really having to let go of the fact that there is no going back. As much as you would like to at times, I think one of the things, especially for me, one of the hardest things is realizing that you do have to give up on, on women in a way. You do have to give up on sex in a way. And you have to pass up a lot of experiences because of this. Whether it's women, whether it's partying, moments with certain friends. There's a sense of change within your identity that becomes very natural, but it's also like you don't have patience. You don't have patience for this old identity anymore. And you're working so hard towards something that may seem meaningless to other people, but for you it holds so much purpose. And I've experienced throughout this streak some flat lines, some moments of feeling kind of lost at times. But in general, I feel more accomplished. I've accomplished more in the past 88 days than any streak that I've ever been on. And I feel more grounded. I feel more confident in myself. And throughout the past 88 days, my energy just keeps increasing. I'm able to push myself in every area of my life more than I've ever been able to, especially making music, especially in the gym. But there is this letting go that you have to do. And you're not just letting go of your previous self, you're letting go of the trajectory of your life, the path that you would have taken if you didn't start retention. And it may seem like you're missing out. But the truth is, anybody who's not doing this is really missing out on the truth of a lot of things. You feel life on a deeper level. I don't want to say semen retention makes you more emotional, but it makes you more in tune with your emotions, your ability to feel them out, but also control them. You're not acting out. I may be angry, but I don't think I lash out. In previous videos, I definitely noticed I came off angry, but it's real. That's how I've felt throughout this streak, and I think that needs to be processed by me. And it's not like I'm lashing that out, but also it gives an example of what may happen to you. So, but the idea of death, the idea of becoming more aligned with your higher self, your higher mind, means that you have to let go of a lot of things. And sometimes it feels like in order to engage with certain people, you have to kind of dumb yourself down, lower yourself. But the longer I retain, it doesn't happen. It's like you become kind of a stone wall with certain situations and people where there's not much to say, because you know the things that you have to say people wouldn't really understand anyway, and you're internalizing life and reality constantly. You're inward thinking, you know, you're not thinking about other people, you're not thinking about what everyone else is thinking about. You're thinking about, how do I elevate my life, how can I do it the fastest, and where's the purpose in that? You find the purpose in it. And I feel like lots of people make retention, or a certain day on retention, their goal. I tell you the day so that you can gauge what's happening to me in these moments, and maybe you'll experience those benefits or those types of things around those days, you know. But reaching a certain day shouldn't be the goal, and it shouldn't be glorified. I'm not proud of how long I've retained. I think I would like to go for a lot longer and really see where this takes me. But if you set a goal in mind, I think it's reasonable to an extent, but you should have goals, and you should use semen retention to reach those goals. But lately it's felt, as much as I may want to joke around at times, I remember I was in my house just laughing. I was laughing at myself in a way, because I was having this kind of moment of like realizing I'm taking everything so seriously. Like everything is so like clean cut, very organized. I'm more organized than I've ever been. You know, my workout program, I'm following perfectly. Everything is to the T. And there was this moment of like, not proudness, it wasn't pride. It was just laughter of like, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous that you think that you have to do any of these things to feel of some value. And I don't think that if someone is doing retention, they shouldn't tie their value to it. It should just be a normal thing. And if you're not doing retention and that's what you enjoy, then you shouldn't feel bad about it either. But I think a lot of people, especially the people who aren't retaining and they comment on the channel, I think you want to do retention, but you can't. Because if you really take the time to comment on a video, that kind of says a lot, especially depending on the type of comment, right? It says that you felt a type of way and you're taking time out of your day to give me your energy. And you know, I've noticed that, I don't know why, but I receive a lot more hate than many other SR creators and anybody who touches on this topic. I feel like I'm the most hated in the community. But I know I receive a lot of love. I appreciate you guys. You guys are fucking awesome. But there is this projection. I think a lot of guys want to retain. I don't think there's anything wrong with not retaining, but deep down they want to. See, if you can say like, hey, I'm not retaining and that works for me, you wouldn't have the need to comment on it. You wouldn't be here in the first place. But if you're here, it's because some of this rings true for you. You want to feel what it's like. And after a release, it's not just that you feel weak for a couple of days. You know, you may get headaches. You may not get women attraction the same. You may not have the pure eyes. You may not have the energy levels there, but it's a psychological warfare that you're going through, and you end up feeling like you are too weak to fall to something so insignificant. How could you? All right, that's always how I felt. I was always hard on myself every time I relapsed, extremely hard on myself. And that always pushed me to go harder with retention. I was never the type of person to be like, that's fine, you know, I got time. Oh, I'll be back in a couple days. No, I fucking hated the week after a relapse. I despised myself in those moments, and I hated the feeling of being that weak, of going to the gym and not being able to lift the same weight that you used to lift a week ago when you were retaining, because you can't. Your bones are weak. Your mind is weak. It's almost like you're trying to grasp some sort of control over your own consciousness, and you can't. It's almost concerning to me how so many people are depleted, but I don't know how they do it. They must be depending on some kind of supplements or alcohol or weed or drugs in order to get through their day. I don't need anything. And I don't smoke, I don't drink. I don't feel like I need anything to make me happy. There's purpose in the hard work that you're doing on retention. And I see so many people complaining about the people who are talking about retention, right? Me included. Like, this is placebo. You shouldn't make such a big deal out of it. Well, why are so many men gravitating towards this path now? And why is it that these men are all experiencing very similar or the same things? And why do you need to release anyway? Like, you could say, oh, everyone does it, it's normal, it's, you know, you're gonna be crazy if you don't release. And, you know, maybe you'll feel crazy for a while, but I think you're scared. I think there's a fear there, you know, a fear of, you believe that you're not going to be able to do it, but also a fear of letting go, right, of your old identity, what's going to become of you. Maybe a fear of missing out and not fitting in with the world like you used to. But what does it bring you? What does pleasure actually bring you in those moments, especially if you're watching porn or if you're having meaningless sex? I get that, you know, if you have a girlfriend or if you have a wife, you want to connect with her, you want to love her and all that. But I've always found that there's almost more love, at least in my perception. There's more love in not engaging with someone in that way, because you're kind of saying, I want to be strong. I want to be strong enough for myself and strong enough for you to show up for you the right way. And if I bring myself down to this level, then I'm the same as every other man. And maybe some people aren't gonna like that. Maybe your girlfriend's not gonna like that. Maybe your wife isn't going to support you to the fullest. Maybe you should have gotten another wife. These bugs. Fucking, it's like the depleted fucks trying to get your attention with no balls. We don't hear you anymore. We don't. Like, people who are retaining you, we don't take you seriously. And, you know, maybe that's harsh, but it's the reality. You don't take yourself seriously. And I've noticed as I retain, people take me very fucking seriously. And, you know, I think as a man, that's a good thing. I think it's better to be taken seriously than to be a fucking joke, a walking comedian. You don't want to be a comedian all the fucking time, you know? There's moments where you can have fun and you almost enjoy it more. You appreciate the little things on retention. But I can't take somebody seriously knowing they're depleted. And as I retain, I have a better foresight of these people who are depleted and anybody who isn't. You feel things on a deeper level. And other people feel you as well. They sense that you're almost not from here. It's like you're just cut from a different cloth. I think it is better to wear some pride on your sleeve as you continue this practice. It'll hold you accountable. You'll want to hold on to that and do something with it. and help people, help yourself with that, you know. But semen retention is not for the weak. It is not always easy. You know, there's moments where you feel like just disappearing. It's like this joke has been ran on you, and then you find out that you have to do this thing, right? Retention, to kind of see that you were even in on the joke, playing the joke on yourself in the first place. Because you don't have the mind capacity as a depleted fuck. You can't think. But now you have the ability to actually see things for how they are. You see people for who they are. And it's a total mind fuck. You get to see how the world really is. And you're not playing the game like everyone else anymore, you know. I saw a comment saying that this guy doesn't want to come in last place, and he feels like, you know, everyone's a retainer now. And I think to an extent that's a decent mindset to have. Like, you want to get on retention because you don't want to fall behind. But the only competition you're ever facing is yourself. You're the only one here, and everyone else is just a projection of you, right? So maybe, you know, maybe that'll work for a while, but there's not that many retainers. If you're involved in the community, if you watch these videos, it may seem like there's a bunch of other people retaining, and it's kind of, I don't really understand why you would feel in competition with anybody, because sorry, camera cut, but I was saying, you know, it's good to have that mindset of wanting to be better, not wanting to come in last place. But it seems like there's a lot more retainers than there really is, because you're involved in the community. And when you go out into the world and you see the majority of people, they're not retaining. I mean, that's what the depleted fucks sound like. We don't understand you. It's hard to go back, man. I don't even want to. I don't want to. I don't want to let go of this power, and I don't want to let go of who I'm becoming. I think it would, you know, you may see it as a one-time relapse or restarting your streak, but it's totally changing the trajectory of that next week that you're gonna have, and then the week after that, and you have to restart. You know, some people say, oh, you don't. As soon as you relapse, you're going to maintain some of your benefits, but I don't believe that. Especially when you've been retaining for so long, your body thinks it's procreating, it's going to give out the best it's got. And you should assure yourself that if you've been retaining, you got the best juice. And then you're gonna let all that go. For what? For what? A screen? For a girl that you're probably not even going to be with for the rest of your life? It's tough, man. It's tough. The truth is fucking tough. And I think most men would rather just sit in their box, you know, watch their videos, you know, have sex with whatever girl, and just go on about their day. Tell themselves that they're the shit, and put their value on how much sex they're having, or, you know, their 5 seconds of pleasure at the end of the day, or beginning of the day. Some people are releasing all the fucking time, and you see all of it now. You see all of it for what it truly is as you continue to retain, and it's disgusting and kind of funny at the same time, but deep down it's not. It's sad. It's like, aren't we better than this? We're not, though. I mean, look at us. But I think the video is getting pretty long. But yeah, day 88. I think that if you really want to take retention seriously, it's because there's something on the other side of this waiting for you. Answers that you can't get anywhere else. You know, you want to feel fulfilled. You want to feel purposeful in life. Where is the purpose in letting yourself go? Have you given up? It's not too late. Doesn't matter how old you are. Have you given up on yourself already? You have a dick and balls for a reason. To be a man. And be a man about life. And I see releasing as you giving up on yourself. And I can't do that. I won't do that. And you're gonna have to let go of a lot of things. I've had to let go of a lot of things. But you have to stay on the path. It's very hard to get on the path and stay on the path, but it's very easy to get thrown off the path. It's one wrong step and now you're on your way to hell. You know, you relapse and this semen retention stuff doesn't sound the same anymore. You go on a binge, you know, you end up having sex. You like the cake and you want more. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it here.